Have you ever ordered Panera's famous broccoli cheddar soup thinking it was scratch made in the back kitchen? Well, here's the truth. Those steaming bowls of comfort food actually arrive frozen in plastic bags, reheated in boiling water before hitting your tray. Not exactly the wholesome image you've been sold. Today we're busting the myth of Panera's fresh food and showing you how your own kitchen can win with soup so good that even kids love making it from scratch. Okay, so not to pick on Panera, but they built their empire on a promise: food as it should be. Customers believed that they were choosing healthier, fresher, fast casual meals. But behind the counter, the reality is different. Soups, sauces, and yes, the famous broccoli cheddar soup all arrive pre-cooked and frozen. Employees simply dunk the plastic bag in hot water, snip it to open it, and pour it into your bowl. Now, is that unusual? Not really. This kind of centralized prep happens across the industry. But here's the difference. At a McDonald's, you expect industrial food. At Panera, the marketing really implies scratch made. That's why people feel betrayed when the truth comes out. Now, I don't fault the industry for centralizing common tasks, which is what they do in a prep kitchen. So all of these foods are made someplace in a prep kitchen offsite and then shipped to the locations. And this is done to leverage skills and tasks and to be efficient, which I'm sure the restaurant would say lowers the cost. Although the last I checked, the cost of soup at Panera is probably no cheaper than a local mom and pop who really is making their soup from scratch. What it does is it increases their profit margin, really. My bigger concern are the ingredients that are in that soup. So when we eat out, we give our power away. But let's break down what's actually in that soup. So Panera's broccoli cheddar obviously contains dairy. It has cheddar in the name, making that off limits for anyone who is lactose intolerant. But it also contains wheat and gluten. So for many unsuspecting people who have a gluten intolerance or celiacs, they might not think to check broccoli cheddar soup. And then what really bothers me is the yeast extract. Yeast extract is used in Panera's soups, and that is a derivative of MSG, monosodium glutamate. It's intended to make the food taste better, and it also tends to hijack the brain and make us crave more because it tastes so good. Some say that MSG crosses the blood-brain barrier. I'm not sure about that, but I do know that personally, when I consume something with MSG, I know because an hour later, I'm hungry again. I crave that food, and yeast extract is on that list of things that I know personally affects me. Now, let's also consider the reason we go to Panera. It's for the bread, because we're a whole nation of bread addicts. Bread really serves very little purpose for many of us. It goes right to the waistline. Now, when we consider that the food was pre-cooked, frozen, and shipped, and then reheated, we can consider that it lost some of its freshness. You're going to lose some of the nutrient integrity and some of those vitamins that are going to break down in the process. My bigger concern is that it's being reheated in a plastic bag. Does that sound appealing to you? Is that something you would do at home? Would you want to heat your food in plastic bags? Just suspect that we're getting plastic leaching out into the soup. And so in our meal, we're consuming now byproducts from that plastic bag. And then while we're talking about the food industry, I'll just let you know that it is a health department requirement that all dishes get sanitized with a chemical with a very long name that we call quat. And quat is the last step of the sanitization process, and you are not allowed to rinse it off. So we put the dishes in the hot water with quat, and then they have to drip dry. So you don't rinse them or wipe them off after that, because that is the sanitizer on the cooking utensils. Okay, so just know when you are eating soup or anything from a restaurant that the utensils or the soup pot have been sanitized with quat. And I know when I worked in a cafe, I could smell the quat. When I would make the next pot of soup, I could smell it. It was on the pot. Why do I share this? Well, I believe that everyone deserves informed consent. So I'm glad that people have come out and showed that the soup is reheated in plastic bags. I am familiar with a lot of things that happen behind the scenes at a restaurant or a cafe. We probably don't want to be eating out every single day, although that is your choice, and I'm here to provide informed choice. Here's where I think your kitchen wins. In my Freedom Kitchen classes, kids as young as 6 make broccoli cheddar soup from scratch. They chop the broccoli, they stir the pot, they season it to taste, and they're shocked at how simple it is. Every single semester we make soup. We make different soup every semester. They are so proud that they created it themselves. And the beauty is you can make it your way. So if you need it to be dairy-free, use coconut milk or cashew cream. If you need it to be gluten-free, thicken it with arrowroot powder or tapioca starch instead of flour. Want a health boost? Toss in some extra veggies, some carrots, some cauliflower, or some spinach for added fiber and vitamins. When I made this with the kids, we added roasted sweet potatoes and we added carrots, and they loved it. It actually made the soup a little bit sweeter. So it's fast, flexible, and it costs far less than a single bowl at Panera. More importantly, it puts you back in control of your food. No hidden additives like yeast extract or MSG, no plastic bag dunking, just real ingredients made your way. So here's the truth. Panera isn't failing because soup in a bag tastes terrible. It's failing because the illusion of scratch made no longer matches the reality, and customers expect authenticity. And when the curtain gets pulled back, trust evaporates. You don't have to settle, though, for frozen bags and broken promises. In your kitchen, you hold the power to make food fresher, healthier, and even faster than waiting in line. That's what Freedom Kitchen is all about. Setting families free from processed convenience and bringing back the joy of cooking. If you want to see just how easy it is to make broccoli cheddar soup at home, just follow me for more recipes and more videos. Give it a try. Once you taste home-cooked food, you'll stop giving your power away.